The design you see here has been produced on a Mac and uses the Windows emulator crossover. And when we print this drawing, there are a number of ways to print it out, and I'm going to try and use this drawing to illustrate some of the differences between them. But I draw your attention to this entity here, which is a circle, and it has a transparency of 100. The normal fill transparency is 255 for a solid fill. So let's unselect all. So when we go to print, and let's go now to a layout, and you'll see here that the circle represents the planting area under the tree, and at the moment the stack order looks correct. The tree is on top of the area underneath, the planting area underneath. So the tree is in fact a magnolia. It's a featured tree. There's going to be some uplighting on it, and there's a ring around it of mild steel, a steel ring. That's not actually showing up too well, and we may look at that in a while. But if we now print this drawing, and there are two ways to print. We can save as a PDF or print to a PDF writer. Now on the Mac, the most useful PDF writer that we have so far found is one called PDF writer. Exactly the same term is being used as the generic term to print high quality resolution. The reason designers like to print to a high quality PDF writer is that you cannot print to our save as PDF to an exact scale. If I select a floating viewport here, notice here the view scale is 125 to 0, so it's 1 to 125. That's not an approved scale in most jurisdictions. It's not an approved technical scale, certainly in Australia, but that's by the by. We can't print when we go save PDF, and I'll just illustrate that. If we say, I will zoom out a little and pan up, and we say file and save as a PDF. This is quick and easy. We're going to go to maximum, and we'll put a box around there to there, and then we just give the PDF a name. And I'll pull up one that I've already done in a moment. Well, rather than pull up one I've done, I think a best way to illustrate what this user has a problem with is to actually generate one. So we'll say file, save as PDF, and we'll put a window. We'll accept that we can't do a precise 1 to 125 print scale, and we'll just call it test and save. And in this Mac, what will happen now is that we'll get to see the PDF, and there it is. We're tempted to say, well, we do see a transparency, that's fine, but the resolution is not that great. The reason is, this is, if you look up here, this is a preview. So what I'm now going to do is navigate, use my finder, and I'll find this file and open it up. Well, I've saved the file on my desktop, and here it is. So rather than just do a preview of it, I've installed Adobe PDF Reader for the Mac, and you have to take some care to match the download of the PDF Reader to your Mac version. But now I'm going to open that test one with Acrobat Reader, and I hope you can see big difference in crispness and resolution. And there we are. If we right click and zoom in. Now we can zoom in on that particular area. I think you would agree that that's been generated by the inbuilt Save as PDF tool in GCode Plus and gives us a nice resolution, handles transparency properly. Its only disadvantage is that we haven't got that 1 to 125 accurate plot scale. We can't edit the title block and give that information there. So I've moved to the bottom of the PDF file that's been generated by Save as PDF, and you'll notice on the left hand side here there is a scale bar. So it's very important to distinguish between Save as PDF. You'll get a preview which you won't be happy with, but if you install Acrobat Reader, you can open it up using the reader and in this case get a nice crisp result. So we can pretty confidently hand this over to a client, knowing that although in the title bar information we will probably say not to scale, but includes a 5 meter scale bar. So with a appropriate ruler you could scale off, but we always put a rider on any drawing that dimensions that we apply in the drawing take precedence over any scaling off using a ruler. So that deals with the PDF, Save as PDF, but you can also produce, let's go back to the drawing, you can also produce an accurate and version of this which is scaled to 125, and for that you would go File and Print now, and you would print to a proper high resolution PDF writer. We could print area, pick and set a scale of 1 to 1. Notice that happens to be 1002, and we're going to print to a resolution of 2400 by 2400. We're going to go on an A2 size piece of paper, or is that A1? I can change, just make sure we've got A2, and we're in portrait view, so we can now print, and we can say that it'll print at exactly the scale and the setting of the floating viewport, and you remember it's 1 to 125. However, as you do that, be aware that we're going to lose that transparency, and I'll do it and open it up in a moment and show that we've lost the transparency. So there's some disadvantages on the inbuilt tool, Save as PDF, and some disadvantages when you are printing to a high resolution PDF writer on the Mac. So here we are in Acrobat Reader looking at the PDF that's been generated using 2400 by 2400 high resolution printing, and we're looking at that little area where there was a garden bed, solid filled garden bed, transparency was applied. We don't see it, so we miss out on transparency once we get to print, but we gain one advantage where we can print to an accurate number. Sorry to be so long-winded, but hopefully that raises and deals with some of the issues. Nothing's perfect, but it depends on the way you want to work. Our preference is to use our inbuilt tool and always include a title block with information about scaling in that title block.